This particular crisis, which began last year, was triggered by multiple incidents where both Indian patrols and the Chinese military patrols they came in contact with each other and clashed. So of course, these kind of incidents have happened even earlier. Patrols come and bang into each other and clash with each other. But the intensity of those incidents, the number of those incidents, and the number of injured that these clashes saw last year in last May was something out of the ordinary. And then by middle of May, the PLA troops which had come to exercise in Aksai Chin area, they decided to move into these areas. And then they moved into these areas which were hitherto controlled by the Indian army. And that was primarily the trigger for the trigger for the crisis. What were the interests that was at India? Primarily, the first and the foremost interest that was at stake was the territorial integrity. That these are the areas which have always been in our control, and we do not want to lose control of these areas. So these are not your areas. You cannot come into these areas. You need to get out of these areas, and we need to restore in some form status quo ante as of April 2020. That was primarily the Indian aim. Of course, the secondary aim was also to stand up to China and to show the world, particularly India's neighbors, the South Asian neighbors, whether it be Nepal, Bangladesh, Maldives, Pakistan, Myanmar, that India was willing to stand up to China. India was capable of standing up to China, and India is an Asian power to reckon with. It would also send a good message to other members of the Quad and to the Western countries that India is a country which is willing to stand up to China. For China, the major interest that was at stake was that it is a recognizably big power. Its economy is 5 times India's, its military spending is 4 times India's. It's recognized as de facto the number two global power after the United States. So it wanted to assert itself. It wanted to send a message to everyone else in the region and otherwise that India stands nowhere. And if you see the kind of messaging, the kind of media coverage, and the kind of analytical coverage that came from China, it was very clear that it was like India is not in our league. Why is it trying to stand up to us? And that actually put a reverse burden on the Chinese that they needed a very clear victory in Ladakh to show that they were bigger than India. If India could put them into a stalemate, or if India could put them into a situation where they would not have a clear outright victory, it would be very difficult for them to justify their big power status. And I think those were the interests that were at stake in Ladakh last year and continue to be at stake even now.
If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about the Eastern Ladakh Crisis, please check out the other videos in our exclusive interview series here on our YouTube channel and visit stratlearning.org to enroll for free in Deterrence in Southern Asia.